This is the Moshpit Backstage podcast for punk, metal, and rock interviews and segments.
Hey, this is Jelena from Persona, and you're listening to the Moshpit on Sin.
G'day everyone, this is Stefan from the Moshpit on Sin. After nearly 2 years, I'm excited to bring Jelena Dobric back to the Moshpit for an interview. Jelena is the lead singer for the independent Tunisian metal band Persona, and is a core songwriter for the band's sophomore album, which came out last year, which is called Metamorphosis. Jelena, welcome back to the Moshpit.
Hi, Stefan, and thank you so much. It's a pleasure to talk to you again.
Awesome. Now, to people who haven't heard of Persona as of yet, can you tell us, just quickly in your own words, tell us about the band, what do they sound like, that sort of stuff?
Okay, so we're a six-piece metal band from Tunisia. I am from Serbia, but currently I live in Tunisia, so it's a kind of international band. We have two guitars, bass, drums, keyboard, and me on vocals. The guitarists are called Melik Khalifa and Yusri Wada. Keyboard is played by Walid Besadok, and we have Yusuf Awedi on drums. And our ex-bass player's name is Nisreen, but we were just not on the same page anymore. So now we're currently in the search of the new bass player, which, by the end this interview might be aired. It might be found already, but yeah.
All right, so we did an interview with you around March 2016 after you released your first album, Elusive Reflection. So can you update us on what has happened since then?
We released a new album, so we did a lot of composing meanwhile, and I think musically we kind of changed a bit. So we became a little bit more progressive, and we changed a bit as people, as personalities, and that was a very exciting process for all of us. We also got to play as one of the opening bands for Alexandria when they came to play in Tunisia. That was in February 2017. And also we played as an opener band for Mirath. Let me see. I think it was in April 2017. I would have to check on that date. They played here in Tunisia in a very beautiful amphitheater, like old Roman place. Like it was full, and it was like an amazing experience. They were great guys. Their concert was amazing. The ambience was amazing. It was a really nice experience for us. Besides that, we also ran a really successful Indiegogo campaign to finance our second album. That went really well, and we're very grateful to all of our backers and supporters. In the fall of 2017, we had a little first tour in Europe. So the first time we played outside of Tunisia. It was really nice. We played in a female-fronted metal festival called Female Metal Event, FAM, in the Netherlands. We had a show in Paris and 2 shows in Belgium, in Lens and Liège. And I think that's about it.
Excellent. Well, I was one of the backers of the new album, disclosure statement.
Yeah.
And I will say that I do think Metamorphosis is an incredible record, and some bands decide to adopt a more mainstream sound after an album goes well, but you guys have kind of done the exact opposite. The album is longer, dynamic song structures, and you've got extreme metal sounds like the growling. So how and why did the sound go this way?
I think we just, as I said before, we kind of wanted to explore more, and we let our creative process just run free and see what's going to happen with it. All our influences just mixed, and this is how it turned out to be. About the extreme vocals, I relatively recently became a fan of extreme metal music, not many genres, but let's say melodic death or some black metal bands. And I kind of wanted to express myself in that way too. and we ended up also having some bit more extreme passages in our songs. So I said, okay, this is like a perfect place for that. So I will not put growls everywhere, because then it's boring, because it just growls all over. Yeah, everything. It was unplanned how the album turned out to be, mostly.
Excellent. Now, location often has influence on the sound and the lyrics of music.
Everything besides vocals has been recorded in a home studio. So, like home studio.
Yep.
But for the vocals, I went to a professional studio because of the sunrise room and everything. So yeah, but it was all in Tunisia.
So how does like the location, being in Tunis, like how does that, I guess, influence the sound or the lyrics of the band? Like, what I'm saying is, what's the Tunisian flavor on this album, if there is any?
Personally, I don't think there is any. Some, especially themes of the songs. If you're thinking about the lyrics and what did I write about, connected like geographically, or let's say historically, or politically, or socially, about like connected to Tunisia precisely.
Yeah.
Like nothing, really nothing. In my case, like zero. Musically, none of us really listen to anything Oriental or Arabic, nor really like it. So we might have picked up something. I think you will see later. I mean, like some of the songs, like maybe there's Credence, if I'm not mistaken. There's a part that's kind of Orientalish, and I even sang some kind of line that might. But that just turned out to be like that. We didn't do it on purpose, but I don't think there are many.
There was some Oriental influence on the last album. I'm thinking like the opening to Somebody Else, for instance.
Maybe a bit, yeah. And I don't know how that thing also turned out to be, but yeah, it was there, and like, okay, cool.
No worries. So, what has the reaction been, both from the new fans and also those who have picked up your last album to the new album?
I'm happy to say that most of the fans were, in a way, also a bit surprised, but pleasantly. They liked the change. They liked how songs are diverse. They liked also the extreme elements. They had no objections on it. Very few, maybe even like one or two people, if I can recall, or three, I don't know. Like very, very, very few were like, they were like specifically unhappy about those extreme elements.
Yeah.
But well, you can't please everyone, and
That's
like
true.
we had to go with what we felt at the moment. So we had to risk some people liking it, some people not liking it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the camp of pleasantly surprised. Because the first album, the songs are, I guess, shorter to the point for the most part. The album isn't very long, and this one is a lot longer. So yeah, I'm in that camp, pleasantly surprised. So, it's a surprising album. Definitely didn't play it safe. That's what I like about it. Now, you guys have had a ton of challenges, obviously being an independent band, and you've got jobs and other commitments, and, living in a country that may not have as many opportunities to, take the band to the next level. I mean, that's just two examples, but can you enlighten us on the challenges you had recording this album and also playing shows?
Nowadays, with all the technology that's happening, it's not really difficult to independently produce an album. Okay, if you have the means, if you have enough money to produce something of decent or good quality or very good quality. I mean, it's the means of budget, It's like, so you can produce like an album by yourself. That's not a problem. You can record it by yourself. You can pay somebody to mix it if you don't know how to do it, to master it. You can even distribute it yourself online through the digital shops. You can even print your CDs on your own. You find a company, you pay them, like that's what we did. That's not a problem. But playing shows from here is extremely difficult because we're far. Here, nothing much is happening. I mean, there's us and a few other bands not many who are actually persistent enough. I think I'm telling you the same story I told you last time, probably, because it's so difficult to advance here. Then, like many bands, just they try, and then they just end up playing for fun or end up playing in a cover band and just earn some money, and then they don't care about it anymore. There's nothing happening here. So sometimes people organize some metal shows, but that's not very often. There aren't clubs where those things or places where those things are happening regularly. The country is small. The audience is also maybe even big enough comparing to the country, but that's all. So we're stuck here. So if you want to play in Europe, we're far. We need to organize everything very well. It's expensive. We can't, we can't afford to go every month to fly to Europe, for example, to play 1 or 2 shows, and then we come back. That's what's the most difficult thing for us right now. Like finding good places, like finding gigs to play abroad, and well organized. That's what bothers us at the moment the most.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are actually not too far from Western Europe, though, aren't you? I mean, I'm from Australia, so I know what it's like to be far away from everywhere else.
Oh yeah. No, that's true. But I mean, Australia is different, I guess. I don't know how the market, let's say, is there, but there are like many more things happening there than like concerning metal scene or any alternative scene, rock, anything. But there's much more variety. There are many more opportunities here. Really, like it's really nothing. Yeah. Nothing is happening.
Oh dear. So, what does the future hold for the band?
I hope good things. I really hope that we'll find many more opportunities to play abroad, and that those opportunities will increase in number. So that's a plan that we're working on, really, to play abroad as much as we can. Of course, we will start writing some music probably very soon, because we always write something. Maybe on the run we will see what we choose for but there's no plans, like concrete plans for the 3rd album right now. The 2nd one just came out, and we're planning to make a music video, like a real one, not just a lyric video. Maybe another lyric video, maybe another music video, depends on the budget. But for the moment, we're fixed on one song that I will not reveal right now. But we're planning to do that in the near future, and some festivals. I hope something will come up. That's it.
And when's that Australian tour coming along?
When there's enough budget for that. Yeah, I should do. That's actually a good idea. I should do some research on that front. And the ticket is expensive, but at some point we could plan it. I also have people who are asking me, when is the US tour coming up? Like, okay, like I would love to go tomorrow, but.
Yeah, well, sure. If you do come, you should come to Melbourne. I'm not just saying that because I live here, but we are known as the rock capital of Australia, so. That's why they're having Download Festival in Melbourne only. You'll definitely come to Melbourne, I'm sure.
Definitely. That's.
So how are your shows in Europe, and how do the crowds compare to the European crowds? How do the European crowds compare to the Tunisian crowds?
I mean, we love them both and all. I don't know. It was a great experience each time. So our fans in Tunisia are great. People are really great. They love metal concerts when they happen, because there aren't that many. So they really come. They enjoy. They're having fun. They're full of energy. We love it. We love it here in Tunisia. But we loved it in Europe as well. People were so responsive, and it was our first time playing in front of a European audience. And it was, I don't know, it was like we didn't know what to expect. I mean, we just did what we usually do, but they were really responsive, really supportive, really, really nice. So we enjoyed it both. I didn't feel any like big or huge difference, like these were more difficult or these were like this. No, they're all lovely. We all love them. We had fun.
Do you have a favorite song from the new album, and do the fans?
Let me see. Do I have to pick only one?
No, you can pick whatever.
Whatever. No, I'm kidding, because they're all. So I think I said that. I think we also said that in our Indiegogo campaign. Like, they're all really personal. Personal meaning that some of them, they maybe describe a certain situation in a bit metaphoric way, but they all kind of represent some kind of my personal journey that I went through while we were composing and everything. So I'm kind of attached to most of them. So it's difficult to pick. That's why I'm saying that. But let's say I like the Series of Triumph. I like the message of the Series of Triumph. And I like the Omen of Downfall because I love the music.
I really love that one.
You like that? Okay.
Yeah.
I like the Omen because I like the music, and it's really personal. So let's say those two.
What about the fans? Is there like a clear fan favorite?
People usually respond very well when we play it live to Invidia.
Invidia, yes, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go through the songs. I guess a quick word about each. All right. So the first one is Prologue, The Initiation. That was that's like an intro song, not a personal song. The rest of them is what you told me.
Yes, so that one is kind of, let's say, introduction. And of course, the last one is kind of a conclusion after the whole personal things and all the emotions and thinking and everything that went on through the album. So that's why they're like kind of just like an introduction and conclusion after, yeah.
And then we got the Omen of Downfall, which you said is one of your favorites, one of my favorites too. So
yeah.
What's that one about lyrically?
It's about a personal experience, and it's like that feeling something completely unexpected happens, and that thing disrupts your inner balance, like completely. So it messes you up. So once like the thing shatters your your trust in things, your beliefs, and suddenly makes all your old insecurities just come back, and you feel completely lost, and all that is like kind of clouding your judgment. You're still, like you're struggling, like there's hope that this will be resolved, or wouldn't it be resolved, and the whole thing in the end results in some huge inner conflict and some transformation, meaning that okay, something is changing inside me, and I'm not sure I like it, like that, that sort of thing. So something hurts you, you're trying to protect yourself, you don't know what to do with yourself. That's it, basically.
I see. And, there's a lot of interesting, like, colourful English words on this album, especially the next track. Ensurience Guilefulness Omnipotence. Yes, that's a bit hard for me to say, but I got there.
Oh my god, I'm not even a native English. Look, so those, I don't know if you noticed, but like, I mean, you have, you've seen the booklet, I guess.
Yes.
So I don't know if you noticed, but like E, G, and O are bold.
Yeah. So that's ego. Yes.
Ego. Yeah. So those three weird words, they kind of stand for egos. I mean, that's how I kind of pictured it in my head. Like they stand for ego's three main characteristics, in a way. So you're kind of always hungry for something, hungry for success, hungry for this. You have to rule, you have to own, but you're kind of also. You're kind of trying to hide it. You're a bit sneaky. You're a bit, like a fox in a way. And omnipotence, you think, like you can do, you can own everything. You can do everything. You're the omnipotent. That's it. So the ego. That's the ego.
Yeah, it's a very. It's one of the heaviest songs, I think. It's and lots of growling and vocals. I love the mid instrumental section in the middle. I think that's really cool.
In ego?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the next two songs, you got Armor of Thorns, and that kind of segs into Netherlight. So are those two songs connected, or is it just like a segue?
They come one after another. It's not really so. Armor of Thorns is a way when you're finally kind of decided to, okay, I'm gonna put my shield on and nothing will ever hurt me again. That's it. So I'm done. But it's hurting me still. Like the shield itself is killing me because it's not who I am. But never mind. I think I will be safer that way. And then the slip into Netherlight is just when we realize not like the shield is like it's not helping. It's not helping. It's just fake. and it's just Netherlight is like one's inner darkness, like really like kind of a depression, like a place where nothing matters anymore, and we just want to be free of all pain, like all, I mean, especially emotional pain. So that's kind of it, a bit, dark.
And you got a French title,
Bête Noire.
Bête Noire.
Bête Noire. It's kind of it's supposed to be that song is actually fear. That song is like the character of fear. Like the Netherlight is character of depression, basically, that comes to take you. This is fear, so it like basically stands for one's fears, like it reminds you what your fears are, and like you're trying to not acknowledge them, but they keep coming up, so there's nothing you can do about it. But as long as, and then you realize if you acknowledge them, they will actually go away. So yeah,
and that's got a cool instrumental guitar solos in that too.
Yes. That's like, I love that part. There's like a piano part in it. I really like it.
And what can you tell us about Invidia?
Oh, Invidia is a song about. It's like it's a character of envy. So, but that's envy that comes from one. It's born from one's insecurities and fears, actually. So things, okay, instead of actually doing something with your life, something worthwhile, improving yourself, it's just easier, to sit and think, this one's got this one is like that, this person is, like they have those things, and, then just you try to belittle them and think bad about them just because they have something that you don't have, instead of trying to improve your own life.
Rolling through your heart,
then we go into Hellgrind, which is, well, I'm looking at the lyrics right now. It seems to be about destruction. You know, lyrics like let it out, let it burn, destroy things, annihilate them.
That's rage. That represents one's like suppressed anger and rage. You know, like when you're so angry and you're trying to be a good sport and not show it. By which I don't mean to encourage violence. It's not about that. It just means people need to analyze and filter their emotions before they build up and before they before you explode. But meaning that you know, that anger inside of you, that rage. But sometimes you just really want to smash all. You know, I want to destroy everything around me because I can't take this anymore. And that anger is telling you, okay, if you let it out, you're like, I just need to let it out, and then everything will be fine. But no. After you let it out, nothing is fine. Everything is actually worse because you you see how much destruction and pain and everything you cause. So, kind of doesn't pay off. Doesn't pay off. It needs to be handled differently.
Yeah, and in Credence, there's it's not so much. I'm trying to. Well, you'll just have to tell me what that means because I'm reading the lyrics right now. Okay,
No, Credence is the voice of one's confidence. Kind of urges you to actually believe in yourself and not to let yourself be overcome by insecurities. You know, don't care so much what other people think either. Like if they think you're not good enough, and then you let that influence you and you say, okay, well maybe I'm really not. You know, no, I'm not worth it. I'm like this. I'm like that. Don't let it change you. Don't let it give up on yourself. Don't let it give up on what you want to do and what you want to do with your life.
Now we go to In Memoriam. I don't think there's extreme. There's no growling vocals on this one, if I remember correctly. I really like the chorus in this one.
That's a weird song. In Memoriam means in memoriam of ego, because it kind of represents goodbye to ego that we had in that Ensurience Guilefulness Omnipotence song. Okay, we did. That's like a bit of philosophical question about like egos and stuff, philosophical / spiritual, but meaning that one, like the person finally understands the real nature of oneself and what are you capable of, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and you're perfectly aware of everything that's happening inside of you, and you finally feel like you're in control.
Awesome. And then we got the first song you released was the CRS of Triumph. This also doesn't have growls in it either. This one seems to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, you know, more positive. It seems that way. Maybe it's just the way it sounds, a bit more power metal kind of, rather than like extreme metal.
It is actually. It is more positive even in its meaning, and that's why it's called like the series of Triumph, because it finally describes the moment where you finally kind of awaken everything that seemed so complicated and difficult and that you couldn't deal with. Now it's finally clear, and you feel you can manage it all like perfectly well. You become like 100% aware of all your strengths, and you become aware that you're master of how you feel, how you think. It's you who can control and who can also direct all that, which is even better. You have some like really difficult situation in your life, and you can always choose the angle from which to look at that situation, the angle from which you can feel confident and balanced, and from there you can deal with all the challenges, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
so that's like the series of Triumph.
And then I guess the epilogue kind of continues with that. The final deliverance seems to be, I guess, it kind of goes into that same kind of theme, doesn't it? Or
yes, totally, you're right. It's just like really like a conclusion after everything. So you realize that you need to go through hard stuff in order to learn and to improve yourself, and you finally actually learned to appreciate even all the difficulties that happen to us, because that's how you grow, that's how you learn. That's the only way. If you're all the time like comfortable and happy and everything's beautiful and everything's flowers and all, we just get tucked in and we get lazy and we never work on we never work on ourselves, but it's the hard moments that make us advance, that make us improve. And instead of hating them, you actually, in the end, you learn to appreciate them. And when they come, you learn to see it as a valuable lesson from which you can actually get something good and not only suffer and feel sorry for yourself.
Okay, and then if we just go to the entire album, the album title itself, Metamorphosis. So why did you pick that title?
Because all the songs together, they kind of take you through some personal, like psychological, emotional, kind of a spiritual too, metamorphosis of a person, in a way. I mean, it has been my own personal way as well. I mean, those were things that I was going through while we were writing. Some past experiences, the current experiences at that moment, my like reflecting on situations, on life, on people, on what's happening to me and everything. So it's kind of metamorphosis through like all that. And apparently also our music showed some kind of metamorphosis as well comparing to the first album. So it kind of fits.
And I like the artwork as well. So can you tell us about that? Like who made it and what's the meaning?
The artwork?
Yes.
The artist's name is Bader Klidi. He also made the artwork for our first album, Elusive Reflections. We discussed the idea together. It's supposed to represent metamorphosis. Like you see, like my weird different faces. I like that he used this technique, like kind of a painting effect. Like it's like a real painting, like with smudged colors and everything. I really like that. Like a mix between something like a modern and something old in a way. Yeah, that's it most.
You ready for the lightning round? So this is where I'm just going to throw a bunch of questions your way.
Oh God!
And you just answer them quickly. No pressure or anything. I'm not going to time you or anything. Just it's just like a bunch of quick questions quickly.
Okay.
Some of these are fun and some of them are actually about the band. All right, here we go.
Okay.
So, favorite Persona song ever?
Okay, can I wait? No, it's difficult to choose. It's impossible to choose.
I always start with this, and this is the one that stumps everyone. I should leave this one last, I reckon. Why don't we start? Can you think of your least favorite?
Okay, the one that I'm attached to the least, let's say. Okay, of all times. Heli, maybe from... But actually, Heli from Elusive Reflections, probably. The most, sorry, I didn't answer your question, it's not fair. The most, it's not fair. Wait, okay, the Series of Triumph, simple, because of the message,
It's interesting, because I know, so I haven't really seen, I haven't read a lot of the comments for the second album, but for the first album when it came out, I was reading, what people's favorite was, and I think, as you know, my favorite song is Monster. Yeah, and my least favorite on that album is probably, I think Torn and the song Before and After. What's Before and After that? Torn and...
there is Persona, but I like that one. There's Persona on Elusive Reflections, the Persona song, called Persona. Yeah. I like that one, actually.
And I remember reading the comments, and I thought that Torn was probably my personal least favorite, but a lot of people, they really like that song.
Yeah, they really like it. It's true.
So it's like the first album, I noticed that, there was there like a clear-cut favorite from the first album? Or...
Blinded.
Oh, yeah, because I guess it's a single. Yeah, but... Other than that, I don't think there was like a clear fan favorite. Like I said, Monster's my favorite. Torn was probably my least favorite, and there was another song there. But a lot of people really like that song. So yeah, that first album, lots of different opinions. So that's what I think is really interesting about that first album. What's that other song? I just need to.
Wait, after Torn.
Oh,
Ageless. I think they're not.
Yes.
Ageless. That was before. That was just before, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love every song off the album. I'm not saying I don't like those two songs. I like them, but they're probably my two least favorites. And
I understand everybody has, even I have my least favorites of our own songs, so it's normal.
You know what? I think, your second album, there's a lot to take in. So I'll have to listen to it even more, I think, because, you listen to it once. That's not enough, I think. It's not like the first one where... which is, I think, easier to take in. There's lots of...
It's true.
Yeah.
As you know, we had in some reviews, the reviewers from webzines, they kind of For example, they give us a really good note. They love the album, but they say it might be a bit difficult to take in.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you're right, but I've heard albums that are a lot more difficult to digest than this one. I mean, like a lot more prog, a lot more, like you're listening to it, and at some point you're just, like you're tired. Somehow, I don't know. I mean, I guess also for those other people who made other complicated albums, for them it also makes sense, when it's like long and songs go into one another, and I don't know, because I don't find it that it's like very, very difficult to digest. But it might be. You're right.
I will say though that Haley is actually one of my favorites from the first album. So there you go.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not from the first album. My absolute favorite is Persona. That's like the song that I still like a lot from the first album. But
I like Monsters and He Kills Me More. And Haley I like. Yeah. So. Yeah, He Kills Me More, I think, is a really well-crafted song. It's a bit of like a Guns N' Roses, in my opinion, like Slash solo in the middle of that, which I really like.
It's true. Like... It's Malik. It's one of Malik's old songs, even before we started Persona, and we liked it, and we said, okay, we could use that for Persona. So it kind of has that, as you said, like that, like old school, a bit like rock, grungy, rock grungy influence in a way.
Yeah, it reminds me like one of those Use Your Illusion era Guns N' Roses. Yeah.
That's
what I think of when I listen to it.
Could be.
Okay, well, let's go back to lightning round. We'll have to go faster.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right. This is fun. Okay, what's the one song that you wouldn't play a Persona show without? Although you probably...
That I wouldn't...
You're probably going to say Blinded, so let's think of a different one, maybe.
Invidia. That's a new audience favorite, Invidia.
Okay, there you go. And what's your favorite band right now?
Right now, I think it's still Leprous. Yeah, Leprous.
And favorite band of all time?
On the big scale of things, I think I might have to say Dream Theater, because it's somehow I'm also emotional. It reminds me of different periods of my life, so it kind of followed me through the. Though I don't listen to them that much now, but let's say Dream Theater.
I saw them live in Melbourne. It was a theater show, so we actually had seats, so it's kind of weird. But whatever, it was fine. It was a great show, a great band. It's kind of weird to sit down for a metal show, but there you go. So what's your dream venue to play at?
Actually, something like that would be my... I cannot now think of a specific venue, but I would like to do something like, as you said, Dream Theater did. I really want to make a huge show that will be something like Arian does.
What did you have for breakfast?
I only had one like freshly squeezed orange juice so far. Yeah, that's it for the moment. But I will eat some fruits later, maybe a banana or an apple or some nuts.
You usually have fruit for breakfast?
Yeah, that's my favorite time in the day to eat fruits. Sometimes I have a piece of fruit in the afternoon, but it doesn't feel so good as having them in the morning. I don't know why.
So what languages do you speak fluently, and as well as, I guess, the basics?
Okay, of course, Serbian is my mother tongue, so I speak that one. I speak English. I speak French now as almost as good as English, almost. And now I can speak a little bit of German, too.
Didn't you also know a bit of Spanish and Italian?
Yeah, but that is like really like I can't really use those two effectively. So I'm not mentioning them yet, but they're on my list. I want to. Okay, now I'm learning German, but the next two will probably be Spanish and Italian, because I really want to know those two.
But if you live in Tunisia, shouldn't you learn Arabic or something?
Yeah, but it's kind of doesn't really attract me. That's what's weird. I can functionally live here with only French, and they have the Tunisian dialect, which I can understand when I have to. I don't really have to speak it, and almost everyone here speaks French, or if they don't speak it, they understand it at least, so we can communicate. So I don't really need I don't really need Arabic.
And what do you enjoy doing in your spare time outside of music?
I like reading a lot. I watch shows, movies, going to the movies, meeting friends. Yeah, mostly. I mean, I do a lot of music also. I compose, but like that's. I also compose for myself some piano pieces and things, and yeah, that's mostly it.
Persona's second album, Metamorphosis, was released last year. Be sure to pick it up from basically every digital platform, as well as their first album, Elusive Reflections. And our 2016 interview with Jelena and recently departed bass player Nesrin. That interview was nominated for Best Interview at the Sin Awards last year, by the way. You can see that on YouTube to search Moshpit on Sin, and on the Moshpit Backstage podcast on Spotify and iTunes. And this interview will be up there soon as well. Jelena, thanks so much for hanging out with us again.
Thank you so much, Stefan, and see you soon, hopefully.
The song we're going to play is called Ensurience Guilefulness Omnipotence, or Ego for short, from Metamorphosis.
Inside your mind.
Thanks for listening to the Moshpit Backstage podcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes and Omni. To find out more about the show, go to www.syn.org.au/moshpit. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/moshpitonsyn and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at moshpitsyn. The regular Moshpit radio show broadcasts punk, rock and metal tunes and interviews every Thursday nights on Syn 9.7 on FM and digital radios. Listeners outside of Melbourne, Australia can stream Syn 9.7 online at www.syn.org.au. Thanks to Vintage Ruin for the music.
Hi, this is Tomato from Flash Gun Apocalypse.
Hi, I'm Enid from Girls Go.
I am Phoebe Pinnock from Heavenly Axe.
Hey, this is Gary Olney of the Misfits.
Hey, this is Kat Sproul from Horizon's Edge, and you're listening to the Moshpit on Syn FM.
Hi, this is Einar from Leopard.
Hi, I'm Virginia Lilly from the band Lily.
This is Raul from 1349.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ali from Zebrahead.
Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Benante with Anthrax, and you are listening to the Moshpit on Synth.